Hey, Steve Donato here at Treviso Realty, just our monthly update with the market. Let's talk about inventory. Currently, right now, we're at 24,875 units, so down 1%, which is good. Obviously, we want to get this down to the 16,000, 17,000 range. So we are heading in the right direction, but not fast enough, to be honest. 493 sales, so we've halved the sales from last week. Last week did a lot of closings. Clearly, this week there's 493 closing, which is regular. And then if we move it off to sterile, 927 units available on the market. Again, that's down about 1%, and 15 sales, which is basically 2 closings per day, which is normal. I want to talk about that. I want to talk today about a few things as well. Landlord-Tenant Board Act. Wait to the end about this. Kind of guide you guys through this if you are having issues in state of Florida. Kind of give you an idea, because we have Canadians or Americans, either it's out of state, out of country, having issues. They want to understand the Landlord-Tenant Board Act, because if they're coming from more of a different state or a different country, there's more pro tenant act, or the act is more pro-tenant than landlord. I'm going to go through this with you probably hopefully in the 5-6 minute mark of this video, because I want to talk about inventory. I want to give you a preview of what we're seeing here with the graphs on inventory and months of inventory, average sales price, and then new listings to the market, to kind of give you a kind of vision of what's happening, especially if you're buying out here. This is good information, so you know. Remember, we're going into the summer months, so we're going to get some really good deals here. I always buy everything in July for some strange reason. It's not even timed like that, like it's not strategic, but I always look at the best times when I bought anything. If it's cars, like not just regular cars, I mean like, you know, like stuff you want to collect, and then ultimately houses and investment properties. Sometimes I don't know what it is, it's always in July. And we know out here the builders are going to start giving larger incentives coming into the summer months. So let's see what we got now currently with inventory. So let's go to months of inventory. This is my favorite graph because this tells me everything. So let's look at single family dwelling. Let's do both resale and new construction. So if you kind of look at the months of inventory, it's actually chiming down, which is great. We're at let's say the height of 8 months in the sterile. Now we're going down to 7.5 months. So again, not fast enough, but at the same time, these numbers currently right now, if you look at these numbers from 2014 to 2019, that's an average day on that's an average market in Florida based on data. Obviously, we're going through this and learning as fast as possible so we can give our clients the right advice. And this is it. So this is a balanced, basically, Florida market. Hopefully, we've built up so much more population than Southwest has ever experienced in the past, that these numbers should come down based on the amount of people that are moving product, which is great. Let's look at new construction months of inventory. So sterile, 3 months of inventory for new construction. Bonita sterile, 16.4 months, which is kind of hectic. That's a lot of new construction in Bonita. Naples 9.8 and Cape Coral 6.2%. So not so bad. Even in Cape, 6.2%. Remember, Cape Coral, I didn't know this, but it's the largest city in Lee County, and second is Lehigh Acres. I thought it was actually Fort Myers. It's not. Fun fact there. Let's look at the condo side of this. So the condo side's a mess. Let's just do resale, because that's where the numbers are. If you look at the resale market, the height in Bonita was like 14 to 15 months of inventory. Estero 11 to 12 months. Naples 13. Cape 15 months, just around there. Obviously, it's going in a downward direction. Reason with the condos, and I mentioned this multiple times in these broadcasts, it's a lot of them are located in flood zones or they're by the water, so that's an insurance related issue there. That obviously brings down prices and ultimately saturates the market because people want to get rid of them before the next storms. A third one would be obviously the bill that got passed that every building over 3 stories needs to be checked to make sure they're structurally their engineering is up to date. And I think that there's a cutoff date. I got to find that in specifics. So that's another issue. So I mean, ultimately, these 3 issues right there is what always gets a condo, and it's basically anything, and it's a common problem with all units, not just in Florida, but they're usually, once you get a special assessment really high up there, it's gonna be very difficult to sell. Then you don't want to keep it as a rental property because it's costing you too much money. It's negative cash flow. But that's the history of a condo. Unless you really enjoy them and you want to live there, it's different. But if you plan as an investment, they're never good. Here we have those 2-story condos, which is like a townhouse. That's different, but I'm talking more like 3, 4, 5, 10-story buildings, right? Let's go back to single family and townhomes. Let's get out of the condos. New listings. You kind of see, look at these big drop-offs. They're all coming down, and this is based on the numbers I was talking about this morning, where inventory is down about 1 to 2%, and it's a reflection here. Inventory is going down the right direction. Right, and then let's go sale price. Sale price, we had some jogging up and down. Lower price in March, which should have been higher, and then we had higher prices in May. If you look at Bonita, it's $750 average sales price. Estero $655,000, Naples $832, and Cape $380. Cape's an interesting market, to be honest. Obviously, we built a house out that way. I like these flat lines, to be honest, because you know what you can build for, you know what you can sell for, and you move on. We're hoping to get that company back on track and going. Obviously, we took a little bit of a break based on the inventory amount in that area. That's pretty much it regarding inventory and just a snapshot on the market. I want to talk about Landlord-Tenant Board Act, and this is coming in from a lot of clients from out of state, out of country that want to buy investment properties out here, but they're scared to be a landlord. The good thing is, in the state of Florida, we have really robust Landlord-Tenant Board Act, and I'm going to give you the process. We're dealing with a case right now, and I'm going to literally lead with experience of how the process is going clearly. So what you're going to do is you're going to so if you view a property and you find that it's in violation, whatever the violation is, you didn't want something in there and it's in there now. Let's just say whatever. So there's a violation there. You're gonna provide a notice to cure, 7-day notice to cure, 7 actual calendar days. On the 7th day, you're going to inspect the property. So now if they don't rectify the cure to the original notice, then what you're going to do is you're going to serve the summons. So basically you're going to serve the eviction. So you're going to file the eviction. You're going to serve it within 3 days, and then the tenant has to respond in 5 business days. So if they respond and let's just say they are in violation and not ready to fix or do anything like that, then it goes to a court hearing. So then you'd have 1 to 2 weeks to get the court hearing. And then after the court hearing, if it's in your favor, you get a writ of possession. So, and then there's a tenant move-out deadline, okay? So what happens here, if you look at it, in the tenant move-out deadline is a 24-hour post-writ, which is insane, which is great for us as a landlord. So you're looking at literally 3 to 4 weeks from the beginning process to the final eviction. And then what I was told, if they don't leave, there is a sheriff physically removes them out of the property, so it's not like they can squat. Because even squatting here in the state of Florida is a I believe it's a felony. It's a felony too, which is I think it's 15 years in prison if you're squatting. So it's obviously the laws are very, very, very robust here. Also, if you don't feel comfortable entering a home based on some interaction, a little bit uncomfortable, you can actually have a Lee County sheriff come view the property with you. So there's obviously protection with you if you're having, if you see could be some escalation in violence or testosterone in a building. So ultimately you can have a sheriff there, kind of neutralize things, do your job, and then head out. So there's a lot of options here. This is why we move their money from up north down this way, because when something like this happens, and it can happen to anybody, if you're reviewing paperwork and everything looks good, everything checks out, character is good as well, then they turn into a different person. Then ultimately you have this process to get get them out of the property, and away you go. But that's pretty much it for a Monday. Have a great day, guys. Ciao.